There's one clear, indisputable rule of business. If you aren't marketing, you are not growing this business as fast as you could be. But if you're just getting started with digital marketing, understanding how to get your business up and running in this space can seem super daunting. There are so many avenues that you could take, from search engine optimization to paid marketing to social media marketing and everything in between, that figuring out which is best and how to start is just really tough at times. But understanding how to start means that you first need to clearly understand what digital marketing is. So today, I'm gonna tell you exactly that. We're gonna go through what digital marketing is, where to start with digital marketing, the biggest disciplines of digital marketing, how to build a plan, and finally, how to execute and optimize on that plan. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment and let me know where you are on this marketing journey. If you're just getting started, if you're somewhere, a few steps down the road, and you're just looking for some inspiration, I would love to be there to help. Just shoot me any questions you got down in the comments, and let's get started. All right, so what is digital marketing? Digital marketing is any activity that you perform online that connects you with your potential buyers. Now, I know that that's a very general definition, but it's because there is such a huge range of things that are involved in digital marketing. Search engine optimization, social media, paid ads, your website, data analytics. These are all considered parts of digital marketing. Now, I know you don't really know what those are yet if you're watching this video, so we're gonna get into the details of that a little bit later, but just understand for now that search engine optimization is very different from paid ads, and that's very different from what's on your website and what data analytics say. So we need to understand generally what these are so we can figure out where we need to focus. Now, the ultimate goal of digital marketing is, of course, to make sales. So the question is, where does marketing end and sales start? Because there are lots of companies that will have both a marketing department and a sales department. So how do they play together? Well, this is actually kind of a fuzzy line. It really depends company to company, but it more or less comes down to how much manual labor is involved. If you're on calls with prospects all the time, that's not really a marketing activity, that's a sales activity. If you're making sales based on an automated email sequence, that's a marketing activity. So sales comes down to boots on the ground, people talking with their prospects and getting direct sales out of them. Marketing is a more umbrella approach. It's a little bit more grab as many people as we can without putting a lot of extra work into each particular activity. All right, so where should we start on this digital marketing journey? So I have a 4-step approach that I've been using with clients for years, and it's been very successful. It is analyze, plan, execute, and then optimize. So we always start with analyze. An analysis phase takes into account kind of everything with the business. So what's your website doing? What SEO do you have implemented right now? What social media are you working with, and how effective is it? All sorts of outside the website and inside the website stuff to understand how things are going, whether the funnel looks good, whether we're pushing people down towards a conversion as effectively as possible, etc. And to analyze, we always start with data. Marketing is 10% creativity and 90% data. You literally have no idea about anything if you don't follow that data trail, because it's going to inform everything from who your target is to where you should be focusing those efforts and how effective those efforts have been, etc., and everything in between. So no matter what marketing discipline that you're going to pursue from this point forward, understanding your data is absolutely paramount. So then that begs the question, what is data? Data is information gathered together in some sort of meaningful form or other, so you can derive some sort of an insight out of it. Basically, it's numbers, but it's numbers that are telling a story. So the story might be, this percentage of people come to the page and then leave within the first 10 seconds. This percentage of people will look at 3 pages on your website before they leave. This percentage of people will convert, etc. And it'll show you lots of different data for how people work with your page, how interested they are, whether they're gonna return or not after they've left the first time. There's a lot that you can get out of data. It is truly storytelling if you understand how to read these numbers. You can get this data from lots of different sources, from social media traffic, from your sales dashboard, but the best place to get it, in my opinion, for your specific website is Google Analytics, because this is going to give you the best view of people who are coming into your website and where they're coming from. It's as 360 of a view as you're probably going to get. And the newest version of this that just just came out a few months ago, really improves things and helps kind of give you a more overall rounded view of how people are engaging, where they're moving, and you can kind of play with the data a little bit more to get that really clear story for yourself. All right, let's talk digital marketing discipline. So once you have a basic grasp on your data, it's going to start to inform where you should be focusing those efforts. If your traffic is coming from SEO, if it's coming from organic searches, so you'll see the term for your traffic is organic, that means it's coming in from Google or from search engines. You may want to focus more effort on search engine optimization. If it's coming from social media, you may decide that you need to focus there instead. But I want to be very clear here. When I say focusing, I'm talking about making sure that you stick to a few different channels. It is impossible without a team to go through every channel, to go through search engine optimization, every social media outlet that is important, email marketing, and all of the rest, paid ads and all of that. It's impossible. You won't have time to actually do the rest of your business unless you hire somebody. So it's either hire somebody to do everything or you get to do a limited amount yourself. The first discipline I want to talk about is email. So you're probably very familiar with email marketing because your inbox is absolutely chock full of emails advertising things you don't remember signing up for or showing any interest in at all. There's a lot of spam in email. It's a highly regulated system, but it is still one of the most effective marketing channels. Everybody should have a list, build it up as much as possible, and use it for sales. But you have to do this the right way. You can't spam people. You can't do shortcuts like buy email lists and all that sort of stuff. You need to be a good emailer, double opt-in and all that sort of stuff if you want to make sure that your emails are getting to the maximum number of people that are going to be willing to buy. Now, just to give you a little bit of an overview of email, there are two types of mass email. The first is campaigns. So these are one-off emails to your customers or non-customers, and they'll talk about current events, what's happening with the company, or it might be to make some sort of a special offer that you don't make very often, like a discount of some sort. So often you'll see a lot more emails come through on Black Friday from companies you haven't heard from in a while. That's because they're saving that email list for those mass email campaigns for those special discount points when people are more willing to buy. The other type is automation. So an automation is going to be a series of 5 or more emails that are designed to walk your customers down a path. So the minute that they sign up for your list, they'll start getting this email series. It's not going to only happen once and then never again. It's at the time that the person signs up, they automatically go through this series. So the idea here is that you're trying to push them down a path and get them closer to a purchase, but you're also analyzing what actions they're taking. If they're not taking any actions at all, you might be sending them emails that are designed to get them to open an email and re-engage with you. If they're opening 2 or 3 or 4 or more, you might be pushing them closer and closer to taking a look at the website again or making a purchase or something like that. And this is a highly effective system because of that personalization. You can do a lot by just analyzing and understanding what events and actions they're doing on your website, how they're interacting with your emails, and so much more. So I would say check out this playlist if you want to understand emails really well. That goes into a lot of detail about a lot of different subjects on email. And trust me, I'm not even scratching the surface with that, okay? So as to whether you should use email, yes, for the most part, everybody should have an email list and they should be using it to sell. Next is SEO. SEO, or search engine optimization, is the practice of making your site more visible to Google or Bing or Yahoo, but mostly we focus on Google because that's the biggest search engine by far. So it breaks up into 3 overall practices. There's keyword research, so that's finding and placing the right words on your site so that when someone puts in a query or a search to Google, Google finds your site because it has the most relevant keywords and the most relevant information related to the search that the person put in. Authority, or backlink building, is where other websites are providing links back into your site. So this is very important because then Google can say, all right, so these other sites all think that you're a credible source. I'm going to think you're a credible source too. And then technical optimization is the question of whether your site is running fast and smoothly or not, because Google doesn't want to be discredited because your site takes forever to load. So they are going to devalue you as a website if your website loads slowly, okay? So as far as productivity and speed go, keywords need to be refreshed every few months. Technical optimization, you should keep an eye on, I don't know, maybe once every couple of weeks, just to make sure things aren't all of a sudden out of whack and they're running fast and smooth. The real time crunch here is building authority, because backlinks are effectively like pitching other websites. It's not like it used to be a long time ago where you could find a dead link on someone else's site and you would say, hey, this link that you had here before, it doesn't work anymore. Can I just put my link in there? And then they would just put it in there just so they could have some filler. That doesn't work anymore. People are just not interested in doing that anymore because backlinking is such a wide-reaching process now. So there's a lot more that has to go into your backlinking strategy. It just can't be slapping anything up anywhere to try and find some backlinks. You need to find credible backlinks from credible sources, okay? So you can check out this playlist for a lot more on SEO. There's also a backlinking strategy in there, so make sure you check that one out. Next is content marketing. So the creation of content to build interest and loyalty and drive purchases is what we're talking about here. There are a lot of ways to do this. You can use it for a blog, for Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. This is honestly a huge area. It's anything where you are building content to get attention to your business or your brand, okay? Each of these platforms, though, takes a huge amount of work, whether that's SEO research for YouTube or SEO research for blog posts or writing to and interacting with an audience on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. It is a huge amount of time that has to go into each of these platforms, which is why I suggest 2 to 3 channels maximum. Otherwise, you're just never going to be able to make them work because you're going to be spending so much time spreading yourself all over the place that you're not going to actually be able to build a true audience anywhere. Content can really help you with legitimacy, and it keeps your name out there for a much longer period of time. But again, it takes a lot of work to really establish yourself in the front end. And then finally, paid ads. So paid ads are arguably the easiest way to make sales online. Paid ad platforms are currently, at this moment, so effective that they can pinpoint your target audience. Now, that may be changing in the very near future with iOS 14 coming out with some pretty big security updates that Facebook is fighting really hard and currently losing against. So we'll see how that goes. But just understand for now that you can very highly target your customers, and the question just becomes, what's the right message, what's the right form for that message, and when is the right time to send them that message. The biggest barrier for paid ads is really just the paying part, because where all other avenues are fixed costs like email or sweat equity like potentially SEO or content marketing, paid ads is very expensive at times, and if you're not really paying attention, it can spiral out of control very quickly. So if you're paying attention, it can really work wonders. You just have to keep in mind that those costs can really add up very quickly, and you need to be very aware of that. Next, make a plan. So once you understand your data and your path, it's time to make a plan. Your plan doesn't have to be super complicated. You already have the answers from all that extra work you did just a few minutes ago. Your plan now just needs to lay out specifically what you're gonna do. So if you decided to write a blog, great. How many posts a week? What's your keyword strategy? What's your outreach strategy? Those sorts of questions need to be answered. You're looking at social media? Okay, no problem. What platform are you looking at? What's the expected growth rate? What do you think your engagement strategy is going to be like? Depending on the social you've chosen, what's the feel of your website, etc. Then take everything that you just developed and we're gonna put that into a timeline. How long is it gonna take you to develop a posting schedule and get ahead of that posting schedule? How long is it gonna take you to perfect your SEO? You need to give yourself reasonable timetables here, but you need to also expect that it will never ever be perfect. You think it's gonna take you 2 weeks, it might take you 5. You think it might take you 1 week, it might take you 2 days. It's really hard to tell, but just expect that you have a timetable, you should try to stick to it, but it's not always gonna be perfect. And then finally, executing and optimizing. So executing is, as it sounds, you are putting those things into place from the plan in the timeline as much as possible. Things are not always gonna be exact. There are some things that you're gonna go over and under on, and that's okay. But in addition to that, you could have gotten things completely wrong. And so that's what the optimized phase is about. If your target doesn't like your message, if your target isn't who's buying from you, if your ad isn't delivering for some reason, more minor things and more major things happen all the time. It's part of the game to figure out what's working, what doesn't work, what can be improved on, and what to optimize and how to do it, okay? This is where you live now. You are optimizing all the time. Now that said, you should step back and get an audit done every once in a while. It really helps to have those fresh eyes look at your business and tell you what's going well and what isn't. But most of the time you are just looking to optimize where you are from this point going forward. So this is just the beginning of this journey. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You've just scratched the surface of this thing. But to go deeper, it's really helpful to understand where to start. So I hope that this helped you out with that a little bit. Let me know where you are with your marketing journey. I would love to help. Ask me any questions you've got in the comments. I will do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. I would love to help you with that. Otherwise, make sure that you like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you're into it, and I'll catch you in the next one.